Brooks Austin, the film guy, is with us. What is up, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Every time, I always love to listen to you guys before I come on. I think in the middle of a Bojangles read, you're talking about a restaurant called the Twisted Bowel.
Irritable
The last
bowel.
time I was listening, whatever it was. Last time I was listening, one of y'all was talking about watching a girl get eaten on Instagram Live by a shark. Now we open up with this. So here we go, boys. Let's talk some football.
I know. That's our show. That's ours. To put it on our tombstone. That's us. I want to start with Georgia and Tennessee, and I said I was going to ask you this question, so I'll just lead with it. Gunner Stockton's not pushing the ball down the field. Is that a Mike Bobo design issue? Is that a Gunner Stockton issue? Is that a Georgia didn't have to do it because they played two inferior opponents issue, or is it not an issue at all?
Look, we can make it they didn't do a whole lot. They didn't open the playbook. Like, we can do all that, but like, you guys called me on here because I watch all the film, right? All the all 22 stuff. There's no doubt there are 5 or 6 every single game where it's like, hey, buddy, the coach has called this one for you. That one is wide open. You should be throwing that football. There's 30 to 40 yards right there for us. Why aren't we doing it, right? Twice in 2 minutes against Marshall. And then there were 4 or 5 on the tape this weekend against Austin Peay where it's like, hey, the body language of that corner right there says he is cooked. He is running way too hard downhill right now. The tight end's going to run wide open for a 60-yard touchdown. Too bad. I'm already to the check down of the running back. That type of stuff, just not trusting what we're seeing, that's a lack of confidence for me. Here's the good news. If you're a Georgia fan listening, like, he is at least playing on time. I think there's 2 types of young quarterbacks. One type of quarterback who doesn't really trust what he's seeing, but at least his eyes are moving to the progressions at the right times, right? He's avoiding bad sacks. He's avoiding 2nd and 20s. And then there's the other young quarterback who's just doing too much and the game's too fast. I don't think that's Gunner right now. We gotta convince him. We gotta smack him on the butt and say, hey, buddy, you can go do this. Go trust what you're seeing. Throw the football. Now, here's the real concern. That's hard to do in front of 103,000 your first daggum road start, man. That's tough. But I do think Georgia is good enough at the lines of scrimmage to run the ball and play defense and find a way to get out of here with an SEC win. And if they do, I think it'll be the most impressive win to date in college football, considering what we're talking about. We're talking about an offense that doesn't really have a vertical passing game, going into Neyland Stadium and potentially walking out with a rock fight, running the ball, defensive type of win over a team that I think is top 15 caliber, top 12 caliber when all things are right, especially in that home stadium.
I was going to ask you about the other side, Tennessee, and you look at the balance early on from Heupel, 7 rushing touchdowns, 7 passing touchdowns, but they're playing a Syracuse team that I believe won't be as good as the Syracuse team we saw last year in East Tennessee State. Aguilar has been really good up until this point, but how good do you really believe this Tennessee team is?
Look, I think they're a lot better than they were a year ago. I thought Dylan Sampson was one of the most special individual talents in all of college football last year that went very much so under the radar from a national viewpoint. But they have a quarterback now, guys. I'll kind of rush to the table of the take of, I think they're going to be better at quarterback, what I saw from Joey Aguilar at App State, just because he was actually playing the position. They've spent the last 2 years with quarterbacks who were just good throwers. They're not actually playing quarterback. They're sticking on one read. If it doesn't move, like, yeah, there is a half-field read system there with Tennessee, but there's still something left on the backside, particularly on third downs, right? Like, and they get into a lot of them against programs like Georgia. They get into a lot of situations where it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, God forbid 3rd and 12, because they're good run defenses. They got good defenses. So you get put in 3rd and long, and now we got a quarterback who can't get to a second read, let alone a third. You're going to be bad on 3rd down, man, because they're going to take away the primary. So they actually have a guy that I think gives them a chance to compete on 3rd down. You saw it in that game against Syracuse. Syracuse did a good enough job putting them in 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 10s. There were several of them in that football game. Joey's just working through his progressions, having only been there 6 months. That's what's most impressive to me. He's playing super confidently right now, driving the ball downfield and actually reading progressions. The other thing about this offense, man, they've reinvented themselves It's a different Tennessee. If you ain't studying Tennessee, you're going to be in for a little bit of a shell shock when they come to your football stadium because they're doing different things, man. They're a little bit more conducive than they were several years ago where everything's outside the numbers. They're a lot more travelable. They're a lot more efficient, I think, nowadays with all the different things they've added over the years.
The maturity of Josh Heupel trying to get his first win against the Georgia Bulldogs. Another interesting game for me is Arkansas and Ole Miss. Does Lane Kiffin have the inferior quarterback in this game? Is the better quarterback for Arkansas?
Look, here's the deal. If you don't know about Lane Kiffin offenses, you probably don't know the history. Like, you know they're explosive, but I'm talking about at the quarterback position, right? Matt Corral's first year as a starter, 14 interceptions. Second year, 5, I believe it was. Jackson Dart, first year as a starter, 12 interceptions. Second year, I think it was 6, right? So they throw a lot year one, and then they start to temper it down year 2 as the system starts to be more comfortable for them. So this was no surprise to anybody who knows Ole Miss football and knows Lane Kiffin history at the position. I knew Austin was going to turn it over. I just didn't know it was going to be like this. We're at pace for 20 of these suckers. Like, that's a lot, okay? And if we go into this football game at home handing Taylen Green 2 extra possessions, that ain't good news. That's not good news. We're going to be in a dogfight in the fourth quarter. We might be down if we hand that guy extra possessions because you're right, man. They're playing dynamic football right now. I say Taylen Green plays hospital football. There is a play every 3 plays where either he's going to get hit or somebody's going to get hit because he's going to lead the wide receiver into somebody that makes it appear we finna be in the hospital. But it is fun football to watch, man. It's explosive football to watch as well. So, yeah, I'm with you. Ole Miss is in scary territory if they don't learn to protect the quarterback a little bit earlier than history says they have to.
Brooks Austin is with us. He is the film guy. You can follow him on social media at Brooks Austin BA, or when you go on YouTube, same place many of you are watching us right now, the Film Guy Network is his YouTube channel, the Film Guy Network. That's where you find him there. Subscribe, set your alerts so you know when he drops content. But does Austin Simmons, when you watch those 2 interceptions against Kentucky, and I assume you've had a chance to watch the all 22 of that, were they bad reads? Did he get baited? Was it a bad route? I mean, it's easy just to blame. I think one was an overthrow over the middle, which that's generally going to be on your quarterback, right?
Yeah. And when we start sailing balls like in the pocket, that's also like we're not used to pockets moving on us just yet. We're not like when we elevate footballs like that. I think a lot of it is experience, man. And we've come on this show and given the Hugh Freeze take. There's some RPO action, like multiple reads, thinking a lot of things in that Ole Miss system too. They're not as reliant upon it, but there's a lot of, hey, if they do this, we do this. Hey, if this happens, we got to look here. And if we get lied to a little bit, we get baited a little bit. We're just not used to it a little bit. Also, they play with rapid pace as well. Those types of things can lead to sudden shock mistakes, particularly on the road, right? So, like, all of that kind of wraps itself into one as to why this is a recurring theme. This is not just an Austin Simmons thing. This is a Lane Kiffin thing at this point, for my money. Like, well, especially with what the types of talents that he's done it with. I think they're very similar football players. Really quick releases, really talented arm talents, maybe not the biggest arms in the world, decent athletes with their legs, have to involve themselves in the run game. I just described Matt Corral, Jackson Dart, and Austin Simmons. Now, they all may vary in terms of how talented they are and their ultimate successes on Sunday, but they're very similar football players. I expect them to have the very similar growing pains that they have for 7 years at that program now.
DJ Lagway, very disappointing, I thought, this past Saturday. I thought the play calling, I thought it was just a complete mess. I mean, nice win from South Florida, but now they go to Baton Rouge to take on LSU. What are you seeing from DJ Lagway, and do you still think there's a lot of upside when it comes to Lagway?
Yeah, he's a tremendous talent. We'll start there. Like, it's cool to be talented, man. Don't get me wrong. It's awesome. It's awesome to have a great arm. It's awesome to be 6'3", 235 pounds. It's awesome to be a good athlete with our legs. But, like, he makes really bad decisions. Really bad decisions. He threw one interception, obviously, on Saturday night that was like, we can't do this thing. He's rolling to his right. He throws a post back to his left, like 65 yards downfield late in the progression. Shouldn't even throw it when it's on time. The progression says we're rolling right. We should be looking down into the intermediates, things that are working with us in our momentum, not against our momentum. No offensive coordinator in the history of America ever tells you to throw that football. In fact, they say don't. You're not allowed to do that. So that's first and foremost. He does a lot of that. He does a lot of, oh, that's triple coverage, but don't worry, I'm good. I'm going to put this ball just where I want to. Uh-oh, it's tipped. Uh-oh, it might get intercepted. So there's a lot of that with DJ. There's also a lot of, hey, dude, you ain't practicing. Like, you're very clearly not available to practice, and it's showing up on tape. We know why. We know why you're not practicing, because you're always pretty banged up throughout your history. And it's bad luck for you right now. But the first play of the football game that they ask him to do anything with his arm, he overthrows a wide open tight end by like 5 yards. I mean, just airmails him, blows it right by his face. They throw a 15 back to 12-yard comeback later on in the second quarter. I mean, it's this layup stuff for a dude that's this talented. He spikes it in the dirt like it's a volleyball. I mean, like just stuff like that. There's a touchdown later in the football game where they got a tight end running across the end zone line for a touchdown. And he just kind of lobs it up there, just flicks it up, airmails the football. USF guy breaks on the ball, knocks it down. We don't have a touchdown. I mean, there's 7, 8 of those on film where it's like we're not playing the position like we're supposed to, and we're also missing layups. Those are bad combos, and it's a combination of we don't play enough football and we haven't played enough games, but we're losing games because of it.
We got to see Austin Mack in some meaningful time against Louisiana-Monroe this past week for Alabama. Where are you on Ty Simpson's tape so far? What's he doing well? What's he not doing well yet? And are we to a point yet where maybe we're starting to discuss 2 quarterbacks playing in Tuscaloosa?
I'm not even going to sit here and come to this network as large as it is in the platform that you guys have and act like I've been sitting down grinding to all 22 of ULM. It's not what happened around here. It's not what's happening around here.
I love that.
Okay, so I'm not going to sit here. I saw the Keelan Russell plays. Those look cool. That ball's jumping. That ball is jumping. I've always said he's right-handed Michael Penix to me, so there you go. Run that clip for social media. Right-handed Michael Penix.
Right-handed
Michael Penix.
Okay.
Run that clip for social media.
Well,
No, I ain't going to sit here and act like I was watching some 77 down, point beat down against you or whoever the hell it was. ULM?
Yeah.
I always call it ULM-Monroe. I always do the M twice. Yeah, I'm sorry. No offense. I wasn't. I have to watch the mid-majors when Georgia plays them because that's where the bread is buttered. But, I watch every other national game that is of importance. I think it was important that they came out and played like they talked like they were going to play. Pissed off and angry. Pissed off and angry says 77-0. That's what that says.
What did you see out of Brooks Austin is with us, the film guy. Brooks Austin, BA, the Film Guy Network. Brooks Austin, BA is where you find him on social media, the Film Guy Network on YouTube. And he is with us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline. I'm assuming you also did not watch Auburn Ball State, but they threw the ball better. Baylor just never really forced them to do that. Like, I give Hugh Freeze credit. He came on after the game and was like, it's hard for me to do this, but they weren't going to stop the run. We were just going to run the football. We still just have not seen, is Jackson Arnold that different of a quarterback than he was at Oklahoma? Feel like he is, but he hasn't been forced to do that, and he may not be against South this week. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. What did you see that you liked about him, though, against Baylor?
I don't know if it's just them brand new Nike Tech uniforms or whatever it is, but it looked like Jackson Arnold spent the offseason in the weight room to me. It looked like Jackson Arnold spent the last 6 months being told by Hugh, hey, big dog, you might have tight football games this year, so I'm going to need you to be ready for that war. And if you're not, it's okay because I got 3 of them. Not only do I have 3 of y'all, I got 3 coordinators. And we're going to talk about this.